Hi Capricorn, welcome to your end of December 2016 general tarot reading. As you can see, I've already laid out the cards because I was just starting over again and trying to get the best camera angle that I can, because I've kind of changed my setup a little bit to provide more stable camera work. So one of the things that I wanted to say first off is that I typically only pick one final outcome card, and I did pick a clarification card because the Four of Cups is one of those cards that I don't think is a card of finality. It kind of almost opens a can of worms. So I thought that it would be good to pick another card to kind of clarify it. But your overall theme is the Star card, which we all know is such a positive card, which is a card of having faith restored. And it's really this energy of, you know, if you have had a difficult time, you may feel like you're more hopeful, and you may even feel like you're receiving guidance or help from the beyond. I was saying before when I had started this reading just a few minutes ago before I had to start over again, is that there may be somebody in your life who is an earth sign who is making you feel this way. And this could be a fellow Capricorn, a Taurus, or a Virgo individual. It could also be, because, you have a couple of Pentacles cards here. And this could be, I was going to say too, that this could be a feeling that is arising from some positive job news. I get cards that kind of speak to that because of these two Pentacles cards. But also, it could be, as I say, in personal relationships. There could be a start of a relationship with an earth sign individual. Now, the other thing too is the star is connected to Aquarius. So we are having, the sun in Aquarius next month, and perhaps this energy will play into the next year. Because this is the end of the month after all, at least when I'm intending this reading to cover, like the last 2 weeks of the month. But on the other hand, there may be an individual who's an Aquarian who is really lighting up your life. I mean, that's also possible. Aquarius is a sign right next to you. So you may have, in your own life so far, you may have had like repeated connections with Aquarians. That's always a possibility. I did want to tell you that, you are having your own new moon on the 29th of December. And, the sun goes into your sign on the 21st, which is the summer or winter solstice, depending in which hemisphere you live in. But it's the time when, the sun goes from Sagittarius to Capricorn. And so I think in general you'll feel more positive because the sun will be out of the 12th house. The 12th house tends to be very, I think it can be quite unnerving in a lot of ways when people have planets, traveling through that 12th house, because it tends to bring up repressed gunk, for lack of a better word. And, with the sun there, it can even highlight, all these things that you were trying to kind of get away from. But, I mean, it serves a purpose. It is like a way to process, things that maybe you didn't want to do so in the past because it was too painful at that time. But they always say that the month before your birthday, you may not feel as energetic, and you may drag a little bit. So the Star card can kind of mirror that reawakening as well. In the past position, the recent past, we get the Two of Pentacles. As you can see, there's water behind this person. So it can indicate some kind of travel. But I would say especially with a job. But it may have nothing to do with that. It may, because it's a 2, it may indicate that some of you have been working 2 different jobs, and you maybe have quite a hectic go of things recently. Sometimes when I see that card, I think of somebody who is trying to get something off the ground. And because it may not be their primary source of income, it may be like a side thing, and they are hoping that they can make a go of it. And the Star card seems to suggest that you can have that dream come true of yours. And because along with the Star card for the current energy, I got the Ace of Pentacles, which is a new beginning. And as you see, that portal that you step through to a new life. Also, the Ace of Pentacles sometimes can indicate receiving a loan. So maybe if you were trying to get something going for a business, or just receiving money. See the clouds, so it's coming from out of nowhere or from above. That could be something that you were hoping for, but you didn't know if it was going to come through, and it's saying that it is coming through for you. Okay, and so it can be that you are starting a new job. You know, it may have nothing to do with your own business, but I feel like more likely than not it is your own business, because with the Two of Pentacles, you could be one of those people that's like, I'm not going to quit my day job because I'm afraid I don't want to risk, you know, not having anything, like starting this new gig and then it doesn't work out, and then I'm left with nothing if I quit my day job. And especially as a Capricorn, you're probably more on the cautious side, and you don't want to stick your neck out too far in case something doesn't happen. But it sounds like something is going to just work out for you in that area. The higher message, or the message from the universe, is the Ten of Wands. This is a card of somebody that may be carrying more weight than they should, or responsibility, I should say. So if you're somebody who maybe was working a job, and, you know, as is not uncommon these days, where the company cuts the work staff and then makes the people who are there work, you know, twice as hard, that kind of a scenario might have really taken a toll on you. And in the back of your mind, you were saying, it's not fair that I should have to do this. I'm not getting paid anything more. And yet these people who are in the upper echelon are getting paid more because they're profiting from my extra work. And the unfairness of that may have kind of plagued you, and that may have been what spurred you on. I would say that the message from the universe then is that look at that as a blessing in disguise, because that's what got you to where you are. And that happens to a lot of people. Like, and even if they, let's say they get fired or they get laid off, sometimes these horrible scenarios turn out for the best, because then they have their back up against the wall and they're forced to do something for themselves. And it works out very well. So it's funny how life can seem in one instant like some kind of bad news, and it turns out to be the best news ever, or the best scenario ever. But you know, initially had to go through some discomfort. The Ten of Wands also, if you're dealing with any kind of new relationship, the Ten of Wands may be saying that you were carrying your past relationship. You were doing the heavy lifting in it. and it wasn't a fair relationship. It wasn't, equal interest or equal commitment. There may have even been infidelity because the Two of Pentacles can indicate duality, somebody choosing between two different things. But, there may have been a fire sign person involved, an Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. But I think now something better has taken its place. Let's put it that way, if this is a personal relationship. Okay. What crosses you is the Six of Cups. In the reverse position, because I'm reading this as a challenge, I keep joking that I get this card over and over again, and this has, kept my streak going. The Six of Cups in the upright position is a card of nostalgia, of looking back on the past, of innocence, of, what else would you call it? Soulmates. In this reading, this card in the reverse position could be that you're stuck in the past, that you're not willing to move forward in some way. So an example of this would be you're in the beginning of a new relationship, and yet for whatever reason you're still longing for the good old days of another relationship, because maybe at the beginning of that relationship everything was wonderful. And also anything like business related, there could be, sometimes I think, especially with Capricorn, this conflict between duty and fulfilling your own dreams. You're ruled by Saturn, which is very dutiful, very serious about life. And also there's a lot of family respect and traditional values. And, some people, an example would be starting or, maintaining the family business and you wanting to break away from that. So that could be another thing too. Even this card, because tens relate to, family, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And so that can indicate that maybe you were feeling like you were trapped in working for your family's business. And that created conflict within you. And this is just saying that you must let go of that. And really it's kind of like a fantasy too, because in reality, this is just my opinion, of course, but I feel like we all come here for our own destiny. And yes, of course, family will try to get you to do their bidding because, it benefits them. But sometimes, and sometimes the children are perfectly happy to continue that business. But if you're only doing something out of obligation, then it's not really a free will offering. And also remember too that there will likely be resentment as a result of that. It could be that the Six of Cups in reverse is somebody from your past that is coming in. Now, we are having a Mercury retrograde happening in the next, I'm recording this on the 10th, and it's happening on the 19th. So in 9 days from now, we're having a Mercury retrograde in your sign, in the early degrees of Capricorn. So this will hit your first house and your 12th house when it goes back into Sag. So the soulmate material comes from the 12th house. So whenever you have a Mercury retrograde, you may hear from somebody from the past. So it's possible that some of you may hear from somebody that, either you knew a long time ago when you're in high school or in grade school. I'm talking about romantically. Or it's somebody that it doesn't necessarily mean that you knew them in your youth, but you had a relationship with them prior. And they may be like, maybe it's like a twin flame thing, because I've heard that twin flames aren't necessarily smooth sailing type of relationships. So because it's in the challenged position, it could be that it is creating some kind of conflict for you. So for what that's worth, just a little heads up on that. If that happens, let me know. Write me and tell me, yeah, that did happen for me. That this person came back or contacted me. The advice is the 9 of Cups. This is the yes card, very positive card, wishes fulfilled. So we're talking about wishes here, and we're talking about it here with the 9 of Cups. I think as advice for a Capricorn, this is like, enjoy your blessings. Enjoy the good things that are coming your way. Don't doubt them. Don't try to tamp them down and make them less than they are, and be afraid of accepting the good, because I feel like this is all about enjoyment and pleasure. And, with that star card, you may have had a period where things weren't as smooth sailing, and maybe you even briefly thought, will things ever get better? And now, because, that star card is saying that, you're feeling more optimistic, and then you get this 9 of Cups, and it's like really kind of reiterating that. So as advice, it's just like, enjoy the things that come to you, the good that comes to you. Now, since I'm getting, for relationships, it could be like, you may be questioning a new relationship and saying, okay, is this really a good one? And that would also be saying that go for it. But it's interesting that Cups is also in the challenge position, the same element of water. So, and even in the outcome, I get water. So I don't know if some of you have been involved with water sign individuals. That would be Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. There may be, and of course, this 6 of Cups may not necessarily relate to the same person. This 9 of Cups may be somebody who is a water sign, who is a good match for you. The 6 of Cups may just refer to a past love that is coming back on the scene in some way, or trying to. Now, this is the card that I got as the outcome that I said isn't much of an outcome. The 4 of Cups is a card of indifference, and, feeling like, you're not very enthused by your life. Now, if you see that this, there's a cupping offered by the clouds again, just like the Ace of Pentacles offers financial resources from the clouds. You have this offer of love, and, you're kind of like blank-faced. So what's going on here? It could be one of those deals where you have 2 people, and that's what I had alluded to before. Maybe one person you're not interested in, and that is represented by the 4 of Cups. And they're trying to, show you how much they care, and you're just not into them for whatever reason. Sometimes I wonder if, in some cases, the people that have this card are not appreciating the offer of love, or just their life in general, and they're lacking gratitude. So watch out for that if that's something that comes up for you. But I feel like, because I did pick the Sun also, that there is a true love for you. Maybe there are 2 people, and one of them is, because this is kind of like the Sun card is very much like the Nine of Cups because it's a card of happiness and joy, and in the case of the Sun, love. You know, it's a card of love. It's a card of just success in whatever endeavor. It is a yes card, just like the Nine of Cups. So it's like kind of like an affirmation of anything that you've wanted. So look, you've got the Nine of Cups, the Star card, and the Sun card. Those are all very positive cards. Now, the fact that the Four of Cups is next to the Sun card suggests to me that maybe you are starting to go for your, you know, follow your bliss instead of just, you know, being dutiful. And you're saying, you know what, I want a relationship that makes my heart sing. I want to feel enthusiastic about my job. I don't want to just go through the motions. The Four of Cups is about going through the motions. And so picking that Sun card makes me think that you're going to opt out of that former mentality. And as I mentioned in my, you know, 2017 video for your sign, which you can find on my channel, you have Pluto in your own sign. And I think I said it was 2024. It's going to be until 2023 that it's going to be in your sign. So Capricorn, this is really about total transformation of, you know, everything. And so maybe some of you are like snapping out of that false idea of like you having to be some kind of martyr. And not like Pisces, but like the dutiful son or daughter, the dutiful spouse that, you know, does things for other people, the dutiful employee. And, you know, you're going to just say, no, I have certain things that I want to accomplish, and I shouldn't have to, you know, run them by, you know, everyone in order to get my needs met or to, you know, fulfill my dreams. And so you're going to do that. It doesn't make me selfish. It just makes me love myself. There's a big difference. So anyway, Capricorn, it looks really good. I hope you enjoyed this. If you'd like a private reading, please click on the link below. Otherwise, have a great rest of December. Happy New Year.